live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. Today is Tuesday, so that can only mean one thing: on air with Russell of Hotels. You know, that live hospitality talk show everyone's talking about. Hope you guys are doing well. This is the intro section, kind of the monologue, if you will, for the show, because I want to make sure things are working. You know, it's funny. I only do this on Tuesdays, right? But the other days I don't. I don't do this. So I don't know why this is, but I just want to make sure I'm live on the platforms I'm supposed to be live on, and I'm loading up. I guess that's IG. Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm loading up Instagram. So I'm live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and IG or Instagram, like everyone else knows it by, right? So the gram. Do they call it the gram or Instagram or IG? What? I don't know. Anyway, feel free to make comments if you're on either one of those platforms. Please feel free to make comments. If you're on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook, I can put your comments on real time right on the screen, right? But if you're on Instagram or IG, I'll see them, but I can't. I don't think I can. Can I copy and paste them over? I don't. I don't. Oh shoot! What did I just do? What did I just do? But yeah, so no, I can't do that with IG. So, but anyway, but I can see people there. I see San Pedro dude. What's going on, San Pedro dude? Appreciate you coming on, hanging out with me for a minute. So, like I said, once again, this is the kind of the intro section or the monologue where I can kind of make sure things are working like they're supposed to be working, and you can see me and all that stuff, and let you know that you can make comments in real time, and I'll put those comments on there. I'm live in LA. So anyone that's chiming in, can you let me know where you are in this world? Okay, because that's one thing I'm focusing on. I just want to see what the reach is, right? I mean, you can be down the street. It doesn't matter to me, right? I just want to know where the audience is, where some of the people are. And we encourage, or I encourage, I'm talking about we, I'm only one here, right? I encourage engagement. I encourage people to come on and make comments and things like that. So don't just think you're just gonna be there, just kind of like hanging out in the cut, just like, what is he talking about? No, if I see you or know that you're there, if I feel your presence, I'm gonna say, hey, San Pedro dude, who are you? I mean, where are you located? Are you located in San Pedro? Let's see, Vegas. Oh, is that Steve? That's Steve. Okay, that's Steve. What's going on, Steve? Um, Steve and I used to work together back in the day at the Hilton, and it's now the DoubleTree, but the Hilton in San Pedro, or the DoubleTree in San Pedro. So it's the same hotel, just different name now. But yeah, we worked. That's years ago too, right? But he still chimes in. I appreciate him coming on, and I've been checking out your photos, you and your beautiful daughter out there in Vegas. So keep posting stuff, man. I appreciate that, and thanks for joining, and thanks for talking your crap about Blythe. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. So anyway, hey, today is funny. I got this call or kind of a message a couple of days ago. I don't know why my camera keeps making noise, but anyway, hopefully I'm not losing anything. So just real quick, this quick story, right? So this young lady, oh man, come on, are you serious right now? Let me see. I don't know why my camera just went out. The other camera went out, so I had to switch cameras. And okay, so it said it went back again. Let's see. See, that's the thing. See, that's exactly why I'm doing what I do. That's why I'm doing the intro or kind of the monologue first, because I want to make sure things are working the way they're supposed to. And sometimes this camera, because it's kind of motion sensitive. So I guess if I'm moving around a lot, it'll move around too, and sometimes it freezes, but that's technology. What can I say? But anyway, this young lady, the story I'm telling you, a couple of days ago, I get this message on, I don't know if it was Facebook or link, it could have been on LinkedIn, and find out she's related to me, right? Well, she does like web design and things like that, things that I need, right? Things that I was trying to do for this year. I just didn't know who was going to do it, if I was actually going to do it, or whatever. So I had this Zoom call with her this morning, right? Her name is Jane Thomas. And I don't know her. I don't know her mom, but her mom is related. Like her mom would be like her grandfather and my dad would be like first cousins. They're first cousins. But I've never met them before, right? They're, there's a pretty big family, so I've never met them before. And she didn't live in the Los Angeles area. She didn't grow up in Blythe like I did. So I didn't know her. And she kind of like on this family page that, we're both on. I think she saw me and I saw her, whatever. She started following me on Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn or whatever, and Facebook as well. And she saw the things that I was doing, right? And then from that point, she took it a step further, right? She in the web design, right? So she starts checking out my website. She starts following me, looking at my lives and stuff like that. And once again, this thing is not. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. So she started following me and kind of, taking notes of what I'm doing and maybe some things that she can do to assist me because once again, she does web design, right? So she reaches out to me, um make a I guess a longer story shorter. We connected today on Zoom, did a Zoom call, and kind of she pointed out some things that I can improve on my website, and she said she can do those things, right? So I'm asking questions. I mean, I'm asking the right questions as far as because I've had some people look at it, I just haven't pulled the trigger on it, right? So I know the terminology and know what I'm looking for and all that kind of stuff, right? Or I know what I'm trying to, I guess, achieve, right? And so she's willing to do it. And yeah, so hopefully I always say my site is in progress, right? So it's definitely in progress, right? So she's gonna come and take a look and do some things. It's like three top things that she said I needed like immediately, right? So Jane, so thank you so much. I appreciate you, being diligent and following up and finding me and all that kind of stuff. So I do appreciate that. So, and I don't know how much time I'm gonna allow this camera to keep acting up before I change it completely. I see Leslie. Is that that's okay? That's the cousin right there. What is this? Family day? Okay, I was just talking about family, and then another family comes on. So, hello, Leslie. How are you? Thank you so much for joining this quick on air with Russell of Hotels. I do this every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So, I haven't been on Instagram in a while. So, that's why I'm kind of incorporating Instagram as well. And I'm going to change this camera because it's starting to really piss me off. So, okay, so I went to another camera, right? So, and I don't like going to this particular camera, but I'm going to have to do what I have to do because that one, the other one keeps malfunctioning. So okay, so I just told the story about this cousin that I found. So I'll keep you guys posted on the progress of the website. She mentioned the colors, the font size, all those things need to be changed, and she's willing to do all that stuff. Also, connecting my blog with my website. When I post something on, say, certain platforms that automatically go to my blog, I didn't even know you can do that, right? What do I know, right? So she's gonna hook that up. Man, there's just some things that she's gonna do that I'm like, some of the things I knew of, but some of the things I'm like, I had no clue. So it's all about updating and letting people, the experts that know what they're doing, kind of guide me through it. And of course, I have to okay everything, right? But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, my website has always been kind of a work in progress, and to have someone kind of take a look at it and go through it with me and say, hey, these are things that you could do, or these are things that you should do to make it more efficient, where I'm not actually having to change a lot of things because I manage the website myself. I post things there or whatever. Well, certain things, if I post on certain platforms, it will automatically go to the website. Didn't know that was an option. Okay, so there you go. So, let the experts do what they do, right? And then you concentrate on doing what you do. Like if I'm a content creator, which that's what I am, why not just concentrate on that, right? And she assured me that she would take care of this and she would, basically any maintenance after these big things are done, any maintenance she would, follow up with as well. So I'm like, that's all I need. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So there you go. So I think I blabbed enough. Let me just go back over here and check to see Boston Brooks, Boston Brown Books, Boston Brown Books. I know who that person is, right? Hello, Boston Brown Books. Appreciate you joining Russell of Hotels. This is On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about. So I'm going to step away for a second. I'm going to do the intro. You'll see the intro, and I'm going to come right back and we'll start the show, right? The show won't last that long, maybe a little bit less than an hour. We'll see, depending on comments and stuff like that, because I welcome comments. I'm all about engagement. So feel free to make your comments and say, hey, what's going on, or F off, whatever the heck you want to say. I can choose to repeat what whatever, but I'm not gonna be saying all that anyway. So I'm put you got not I'm not gonna put you on hold. I'm just gonna start the intro, and I'll be back in 2 and 2. Who used to say that? 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Who used to say that? You guys remember that? Am I dating myself? Anyway, let's do it, and we'll be right back. Hey, Russell of Hotels going live again for the show called On Air with Russell of Hotels. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy New Year to everyone out there, if I hadn't said that already. Once again, today is Tuesday, January 6th, and it's about 1 o'clock, right? 1:12 or something like that. So thank you guys for joining. We're moving forward, right? We're in a new year. We're going to do some of the same things we did last year, but put a lot of emphasis on visibility and elevating one's brand, because that's what it's all about here, right? So I'll never do one of these shows where I'm not elevating a brand, a hotel or a destination that I have experienced for myself. In fact, I will never show anything that I've never experienced myself, right? So I either had to be there for a tour, or I stayed there, or whatever, eating in the city or the destination, whatever the heck it is, right? I'll never show a hotel where I did not do those things. So there you go. So, and today is no exception, right? So I just have a couple of snapshots of this one particular hotel I thought was interesting. And I've been to, okay, this is the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Has anyone been to Frantic City or Atlantic City? I said Frantic City because who remembers the Flintstones, right? Okay, the old Flintstones, not this new Flintstones that's on now, right? The OG Flintstones. Well, there's an episode, and I don't know why I always remember this, right? There's this old episode of the Flintstones where they went to Atlantic City, but on the Flintstones, they changed the names and they called it Frantic City. Like if they're all excited, let's go to Frantic City. Just like Las Vegas was Rock Vegas. Well, Atlantic City was Frantic City. So anyway, so if I don't know why that makes me laugh, right? But I don't know why. But yeah, Frantic City. Okay, so I was in Frantic City. I've been there a couple times, maybe 2 times, or maybe I think maybe the second time I was there, but stayed at different hotels, right? So I stayed at the Hard Rock this last time that I went, 2,000 rooms. So, Frantic City or Atlantic City is, I don't say a poor man's version of Vegas. I don't, that's a bad thing to say, right? It's not as big as Vegas. Okay. They do have casinos there, but they don't have a lot of the hotel. I mean, Vegas has 100,000, over 100,000 rooms, right? Atlantic City probably, I'm not going to go out and say, but they only have maybe, I'm going to say 5 or 6 major hotels there. And they're all casinos, right? And it's on the waterfront, it's on the boardwalk, which is, unique in itself, right? Because Vegas is a desert, right? So it's a little different from that perspective. But I mean, there's a lot to do there in Atlantic City as well. It's not the flair or the flash or the glitz and glamour of a Las Vegas, but it's an option if you're on the East Coast, right? If you don't have a choice, okay, well, go to Atlantic City. Okay, all right. So for meetings, if you're on that Eastern, corridor or whatever, yeah, I would say, yeah, let's do it, right? But yeah, this particular hotel, Hard Rock Hotel, so Four Diamond Hotel too, right? So it's the services are elevated. 2,000 guest rooms, 164,000 square feet of meeting space, which is important if you're having meetings. Some of the meeting space actually has natural lighting or windows, and that's what I look for. A lot of my clients look for that. So back to what I was saying, I'll never do one of these shows where I'm not showcasing a hotel. Right? Today happens to be. I just have a couple of pictures, and this was actually. I think all of these are of all these photos I'm showing you are of my room. Okay, so there you go. So that's just me. That's just what I do. Let me just check over here real quick, real quick. Chuck Woolery. Oh, you know what? You would know. You would know that. Okay. So Steve, who I used to work with, he's on IG. So asked, when I went to do that, the intro, I said I'll be back in 2 and 2, and I said, does anyone remember that? And of course, Steve remembers that. That comes from Love Connection. Remember the show Love Connection back in the day with Chuck Woolery? He would say when they were going to a commercial break, he would say, "We'll be back in 2 and 2," and he would always do that, right? And Steve got it. So there you go, Steve. Thank you so much. Steve gets a Russell of Hotel shirt. Okay, so I'm gonna send you a shirt, okay, Steve, but you got to wear it, right? So email me your address and I'll send you a shirt. And I'm serious about this. I'm not just joking, right? Just email me your address and I will definitely mail you a shirt. There you go. But you have to wear it proudly, okay? You have to post it. You have to take a photo of yourself and then post it, okay? There you go. So there you go. So, okay, let's just move through these real quickly. So that's my guest room. This is different parts of the room. And the room was a good size, right? It's a good size room. You see a little working desk right there, guys. That's my laptop right there. And then a separate couch over there that I believe opens up to a sofa bed, if I'm not mistaken. Meeting space, and I just took one photo of a meeting space. This is, a square, hollow square, if you will. Very nice with windows. You can see the curtains over there. So natural lighting in there as well, which a lot of casinos don't have a lot of natural lighting. So this one did, at least that room did, right? So I always make note of that because like I said, I have a lot of clients that they won't even book a hotel if there's no natural lighting. So I always make sure that I address that and show that. Paula C. So I'm looking at my comments, right? And I see Paula C. Paula C is the one for me. So we'll put her comments on there. So if you make comments in real time on LinkedIn, this is what happens, right? LinkedIn or YouTube, boom, right there. Hi Russell. How are you? Paula C, is good hearing from you. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you. So yeah, it's good. I mean, all is good. Policy. Thank you so much. Did I say Happy New Year? I did say Happy New Year. But no, it's good to hear from you. Good to see that you're back posting things and back creating content. We missed you. Just in case you did not know, we did miss you. Okay, but we understand as well. So, but once again, thank you for joining. Thank you for your comments and. Hopefully, we'll have you back on the show one day, Paula C, because Paula C's been on the show at least once, maybe twice, right, over the years, right? So we got to get Paula C back on here. Okay, so once again, this is my guest room. So this is another angle from the guest room. So you can see the working desk right there, and then the TV, and then part of the bed. So once again, it was a substantially sized room. It was very nice. It was well appointed. People say, "Oh, it's a well appointed room." Yeah, it was well appointed. I can't complain. Can't complain. It was very nice for the couple days that I was there. And then I think we flew into. You don't actually fly into Atlantic City. You fly into Philly. You fly into Philadelphia is the nearest airport to there. So it was nice to fly into Philly. And then happy 2026 is to you as well, Policy. Let me just put her comments right there. Policy is the one for me. So let's get back to what I'm supposed to do. The topic, okay. So topic for today. Every time I do one of these shows, it's gonna be a topic, right? Now, how do I come up with these damn topics, right? Somebody's gonna like say, "Well, the topic is how a burnt out sales manager can get back on track in the new year." Okay, like where'd that come from? Well, I always go back to my sales roots, right? As a sales manager, and especially in the busier hotels when you're just spent, right? Like the end of the year has come and you're trying to get contracts out, or you're trying to receive contracts the same time you're putting new ones out for the new year, right? But of course you want things on the books, at the close of last year, right? Because it counts towards your bonuses, right? Your year-end bonus and all that stuff. So there's always a lot of pressure to do that. And we get burned out. Sales managers get burned out. I mean, I was talking to a couple sales managers at the end of the year in December, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's so busy here, and it's still busy." And they're just wiped. They're just burnt, right? They're just like, "Damn, this is crazy." So I said, you know what? Things come in out of my mind as far as topics are concerned, and that was one of the things I came up with, like how burnt out sales managers can get back on track in the new year, because guess what? Things are not going to change, right? Okay, under pressure at the end of the year, but are you still under pressure at the beginning of the year? Probably the same, right? Maybe not the same amount of pressure, but you're still under some pressure because now you're dealing with the first quarter. And sometimes first quarters can be rather aggressive because at the end of the year, your goals are probably less aggressive in December, maybe the whole last quarter. But now starting the new year, you're gonna go with that same stuff, right? You're gonna start this rinse and repeat, right? So whatever you're dealing with the first quarter last year, guess what? You're dealing with it again, this year. So let me just see. There's one comment I see. You have to be on my new YouTube channel. Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. No, let me know when. Let me just put these comments up here. She said, "Thank you, Russell. I'm back." Yes, I'm glad you're back. I am glad you are back, Paula C. We missed you. Let's see. And her other comment says, "You have to be on my new YouTube channel." Of course, you let me know when and where, and I'll be there. Okay, just send me the link, and I'll be there. You want to do it today? No, let's do it today. Let's do it after this. So no, whenever you need me, policy, I am there, and I never turn down an opportunity to be on someone's show, especially policy. So if policy is asking, I'm gonna be there. So just a word to the wise for people that if you're asked to be on a podcast or on a YouTube channel like policy just offered, I'm like, you have to take advantage of that stuff because it's all about elevating your brand, right? It's all about elevating your brand, is letting people know that you're there, that what you do, who you are, what you do, and how you can help people, right? Visibility. I talk about that all 2025. Visibility and elevating your brand. Okay, not just your brand, but other people's brand. Just like I'm elevating whose brand today, right? The Hard Rock Cafe. Hard Rock Cafe, Hard Rock Hotel in Atlantic City. Because a lot of people may not have even heard of that hotel. Maybe they've heard of Atlantic City, but didn't know there was a Hard Rock there, right? There's not many Hard Rocks in the U.S., right? So one of them is in Atlantic City. So a lot of people don't know that. So my job is to elevate brands, let people know that these hotels exist, okay? Because contrary to popular belief, everyone does not know, and like a lot of hotel people will tell you, "Oh yeah, our hotel is very popular." "Oh, where is it at?" "It's in Atlantic City." "I never heard of it." you know that's the reality, right? That everyone does not know your hotel exists. Okay, so it's all about elevating. It's all about being visible. Okay, be as visible as you can. Okay, and that's the kind of the key, right? That's kind of the key to a lot of things. Be as visible as you can. So let's see. Okay, so where was I? The topic once again: how a burnt out sales manager can get back on track in the new year. Okay, number one, and I gotta open up my thing here. Number one, focus on fewer, better accounts. What does that mean, Russell? What does that mean? Before I get to that, let me read this. If last year left you feeling burnt out, you're not alone. At busy hotels, sales managers aren't just selling, they're reacting. Leads come in constantly and often need to be addressed almost immediately, leaving little room to think, plan, or breathe. Does that sound familiar? Getting back on track in the new year doesn't mean slowing down the business, it means regaining control while still responding fast. Now, this doesn't just, it's just not unique to hotel people, sales managers. It's unique to DMO people and CVB people as well. DMO, destination marketing organizations, or CVB, convention and visitors bureaus. They're salespeople too, right? So this encompasses all hospitality sales professionals, right? Because they're all burned out, right? They all can be burned out, right? And, a lot of them will say, "Oh no, everything is fine." Blah blah blah. Well, yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to perform, to make your goals, make your numbers, all that stuff. That there just is. There's no way around it. Let's see another comment. I Happy New Year, Isaiah. Let me just put his comment up here as well. Um, I'm not. I can't even comment on this guy. But anyway, other than hey, how you doing? Happy New Year, Isaiah. Let us know where you are. Right, Paula C. If you're still there, let us know where you're chiming in from. We need to know, right? This is a new year. I'm doing new things, right? I want to know where people are. So Isaiah, let us know who you work for and what city or destination you happen to be watching from. Okay, if you don't mind, I'd appreciate it. And then I see Charles Skipper. What's going on, Skip? Skip. And Skip just called me, right? Skip calls me during this thing. He knows damn well I do this show every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and he's like ringing on my phone. I'm like I'm gonna answer that, right? And I see Yvonne Morales. Yvonne Morales. Uh, that's like Blythe family right there. Okay, that's another Blythe family from the South Side. We all grew up on this. Well, not all of us, but both of us, Yvonne and myself, or we grew up on the South Side of Blythe. Yeah, Blythe is separated to east, west, north, and south. Okay, so yeah, people are like, well, I just drive through it on the freeway. And no, 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 it is separated. So she grew up on Fourth Street, South Fourth. I grew up on South First. Okay, so, we went to the same, same elementary schools. I think we went to, did we go to every school we went together? I'm thinking, were we in every, no, we weren't in every class, but we were in a lot of classes, elementary school through, high school, middle school, junior high, whatever. But yeah, anyway, I don't know why I'm jumping on that, but thank you, Yvonne Morales, for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you, Charles Skiffer. Thank you, Leslie. Appreciate that. And of course, San Pedro Dude. I appreciate you guys as well. So Isaiah is in. See, I'm gonna put these on the screen because you guys won't believe this. Okay, so Isaiah is with Fayetteville CVB. Appreciate you. So he's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Okay, so he's with a DMO, Destination Marketing Organization. So they're the marketing arm of that city, which is Fayetteville, North Carolina. Okay, so that's what he does. And he does sales for them, right? So his job is to bring in business into that destination. Okay. And then Paula C is in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay. See, you guys didn't know. When I say we're international, right? So Policy has been on my show a couple times, and I think I've done her podcast as well with Cloudbed. So I know I've done that at least. So we've collaborated at least 3 times over the years, right? And it's just good to get that good energy, right? She eludes a lot of that positive energy that we need in this hospitality space. So, and she was a former general manager of a hotel. So yeah, so we had a lot in common. We used to do, I think we used to do, did we used to do what is that other thing? Clubhouse? Did we used to do Clubhouse together too back in the day? Policy, I'm not sure, but yeah, we did Clubhouse, which was a during COVID, there wasn't a lot of things going on, so people, discovered podcasts and things like that, and Clubhouse was one of those things which was an audio app where a lot of people could come on and talk and all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm thinking that policy, that's originally where I met her. And then it kind of went over to like LinkedIn and, the rest is history. So there you go. There you go. But no, and then Isaiah, I've met him at various conferences and trade shows, and I can't share some of the stories. I mean, they're not bad, but they would not be in good taste. Okay, for me to talk about right now. Nothing overly bad, but he knows what he knows what I'm talking about. But no, it's just good to have people come on. And like I said, if I know you and know a story about you, I'm gonna share it with you. And it's always gonna be in good fun. So don't think it's gonna be anything bad or anything. But anyway, let me get back to what the heck we're here to do, right? So because that's what makes this show longer. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, but let me get back to focus on fewer, better accounts. Okay. So you're burnt out. Okay. The topic is how a burnt out sales manager can get back on track in the new year. Okay. Number one, and I only got 3 of these points, right? Because I try to limit it to 3. Burnout often comes from trying to treat every lead like it carries the same weight. While all leads deserve timely attention, not all deserve the same level of energy. Identify your top 15 to 20 priority accounts. 15 to 20, because you can't do, you know what, it's that old 80-20. What is it? Is it 80% of your business comes from 20% or 20% of your clients, something like that? That whole thing. So know which leads are high value versus transactional. Which ones are just, you're just going through the motions, versus the one that actually having high value and they're more likely to turn over, right? Or go definite. Respond quickly to all inquiries, but invest deeper follow-up time where it matters most. This keeps you responsive without being depleted. Okay. And that's one thing you don't want to be at the end of the day. I remember working at the Bonaventure, man. You had to make sure that every lead that we got, I don't care what time it was, you had to respond by the end of the day, end of our day, which was 5 o'clock. Okay. So if I got a lead at 4:30 and I knew each lead took me an hour to respond to, I had to have that done before I left the office, right? So that was just it, right? So when I left that hotel, those are things that I just incorporated as a director, like, hey, you need to respond by end of the day. So that's where that stuff comes from, right? So by the end of the day, we needed to respond to it. And someone would monitor it. Joe Phillips, he would monitor it. Okay, make sure you get these done by end of the day, or you'll be having a little conversation if you did. Okay, so there you go. Acknowledge every lead quickly. Buy yourself time with a professional, confident first response. Okay, there you go. Schedule the deeper follow-up instead of handling everything at once. A fast acknowledgement keeps the lead warm, and that's what you want. You want warm leads. Okay, you don't want cold leads. You want warm leads. A scheduled follow-up keeps you sane. So yeah, so make sure you keep them. Oh shoot, I'm skipping around. No. I did that wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. Number 1. Okay, I'm sorry. I messed this up. And remember, these things are on my website. So just go to my blog, russellofhotels.com, and just go to the blog, drop down menu, bing, it'll be right there. So let me start this over because I screwed this up, right? Number 1, focus on fewer, better accounts. Burnout often comes from trying to treat every lead like it carries the same weight. I think I said this already. While all leads deserve timely attention, not all deserve the same level of energy. I did say that. Identify your top 15 to 20 priority accounts. Know which leads are high value versus transactional. And then respond quickly to all inquiries, but invest deeper follow-up time where it matters the most. Okay, so that was number 1. Number 2, respond fast. Number 2, let's get to number 2. Number 2, respond fast, follow up smart. Okay, that goes back to what I said about the leads. We got the leads at 4:30. We need to make sure by the end of my day, which was at 5. So, but if it took me till 6 to do it, well, then damn it, it's gonna take me till 6 to do it. Okay, that's just how it was back in the day. At a busy hotel, immediate response is non-negotiable. Speed matters because the first one that gets it is you're in the running. If you take 2 days to get it back to you, well, guess what? They probably already moved on. The key is separating response from full engagement. So you don't have to give them everything at once, right? Give them, you respond, give them, kind of what they need, and then the other stuff can come later, right? So you don't have to give them 100% of everything. All the, let them know that the space is available, but do you actually have to plot out their meetings right now? Unless they ask for it, and a lot of times they don't plot everything out. Because I remember at the Bonaventure, we have 110,000 square feet of meeting space, right? So, if they send you a whole program, you want to plot everything out. Well, guess what? You ain't got time for that, right? Because a lot of times they're taking bids from everybody. The whole world is, their oyster, right? So we'll respond to what they needed at that point, right? And then work on it later, have conversation with them, and then follow up and say, okay, I'm gonna give you this at this date, right? But everything at one time, no, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you really don't need to do that unless they require everything at one time. And a lot of times they didn't. The key is separating responses from full engagement. Acknowledge every lead quickly. Buy yourself time with a professional, confident first response. Schedule the deeper follow up instead of handling everything at once. I just mentioned that. A fast acknowledgement keeps the lead warm. There you go. So timing is of the essence, but you don't have to. You just let them know that the space is available on those dates, right? And it can accommodate your meeting or your programs, right? That's all you need to let them know at that point. You don't need to do everything, all the schematics and the table's going to be here. You don't need to do all that. A follow up keeps you sane. So schedule a follow up with them. Like, hey, I gave you this. Let's schedule a follow up so we can go more into detail. Then that buys you some time. Number three. See, I'm giving you guys some good information here, and I'm gonna get to the comments in a minute. Take back control of your time. Reclaim your time. Take control. Snatch it back. You see that? Take control of your time, even in a reactive role. Sales burnout is often time burnout. You may not control when leads come in. You can't control when the leads come in. They just come in. You're like, damn, another one? Damn, can I give it to somebody else? But you can control how the rest of your day works. Block time for proactive outreach. Now, there's, when I say proactive, there's proactive sales and reactive sales. Reactive sales is just you basically just waiting for emails to come through or phone calls to come through, just basically reacting by answering and responding to emails. Proactive, you're actually out shaking the trees and see what falls out, right? You're actually actively getting business, right? You're actually actively making your phone ring or making your email because it's from your these are the results of your sales calls, the conferences that you go to, all those kind of things, right? So there's a big difference between proactive or reactive, a hunter or a gatherer. Okay. In sales, it matters, right? All that stuff matters, but you can be burnt out on all that. It doesn't matter if you're just there in your office reacting to to calls and emails. Oh man, believe me, that gets tiresome too, or that gets stressful, and yeah. So who wants to do all that all day long? So to me, it broke up the monotony if I was doing some reactive and proactive sales, right? Of course, you wanted the reactive sales because that means you didn't have to go out and get it, right? But now they have specific people like Marriott. They have people that are in the field being proactive, and they have people in their offices that they're in their offices all day long. That's what they do. They just react to the calls. And I don't mean just as like I'm minimizing it. No, but that's what they do, right? And it's just as hard as going out there. So don't think that one is easier than the other, but I guess it depends on what you like to do, right? I would rather be out there shaking the trees than just being, just in the office waiting for emails to come through or answering 100 phone calls a day. Screw that. I'm not trying to do all that, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. Let's see. Did I miss something? Okay, I did. Okay, focus. Okay, focus on fewer, better accounts. respond fast, smart follow up, take back control of your time, reclaim your time. Okay, so you may not control when leads come in, but you can control how the rest of your day works. Block time for proactive outreach, batch follow ups instead of reacting nonstop. You know, use templates. Why is this thing doing that? Use templates, calendars, and reminders to reduce mental load. Structure creates breathing room, even in high volume environments. Closing thought: the new year isn't about slowing down, it's about working smarter under pressure. Immediate response will always be a part of the sales, the hotel sales, but burnout doesn't have to be. When you focus your energy, respond strategically, and create structure around the chaos, momentum returns. You're not behind. You're adjusting to a fast moving environment and doing it with intention. So there you go, right? So yeah, we're gonna get burned out, but there's different ways that we can reduce the amount of burnout that you're gonna get, right? So just go to my website, russellofhotels.com, go to the blog, hit the drop down, bing, and all the information I just talked about is there. So you can take those notes, you can do whatever the heck you want to do with them. But I just thought it was important, especially at the beginning of the year when people, you know, we're responding to or we're trying to, get past the holidays and knowing that darn well we got goals. We got goals. So, but anyway, okay. So back to the comments. Distinctively Fayetteville CVB. Yep, that's Mr. Isaiah. Thank you so much. And I'll put his comments on there again. That's Mr. Isaiah. So if you have a program going to Fayetteville, North Carolina, just reach out to Isaiah Griffin. Okay, there you go. Tell him Russell of Hotels sent you. And then Miss Paula C, she says, not Clubhouse, but Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I think we met on Instagram first. Not sure you were in the podcast that I hosted. Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't remember Paula C, but you know what? I'm just glad we know each other, right? Thank you so much. I appreciate all the opportunities that we had to collab together, and I look forward to collabing this year as well. So let's make it happen. Let me make sure I check the comments there. But yeah, so good to do these things, to stay visible, because there's a lot of good people out there, and there's potential business out there. But you have to got to continue to fight. You have to continue to be out there, to be visible. In order to elevate your brand, you have to be visible. I don't care what brand it is. I don't care whose brand it is. Okay. In order to elevate your brand, you have to stay visible. That's just it. Okay. Why do people do these podcasts? And podcasts, remember, podcasts were originally 100% audio. You didn't see the people, right? You just heard them, right? So just like on the radio, but even radio personalities became big, back in the day, and they're still big. There's some radio stations that still have, radio personalities that are huge, that are real popular, right? But this took it a step further, right? Now you have audio and video, and now you see the people, right? So and I guarantee you, the ones that are more popular are the ones that they actually see you. They don't just hear you anymore. They see you like, oh my God, that's that person. Okay. Now I got the name with the face kind of thing, right? So yeah, it is important that we elevate our brand. Those are good ways. I mean, social media is a good way to do that. Why did they have social media? I don't know, but I don't know why, but it's a way you have to take advantage of it, right? Because it's a way to elevate your brand. So my job, which for the last year, a couple years, I've been talking about elevating your brand, right? So that's why I show hotels and destinations on this show, right? Or anytime I do a live, right? Either it's the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels or on air with Russell of Hotels, right? So I do something 5 days a week where I'm elevating a brand. I'll never do one of those shows where I'm not talking about a hotel or mentioning or showcasing a hotel. Today happened to be the Hard Rock Cafe. Why do I keep saying Hard Rock Cafe? The Hard Rock Hotel in Atlantic City. Okay, that's the hotel that I showed today. So that's what I do. That's what I always do, right? Nothing's gonna change. So, but anyway, And I welcome people to come on my show. We will talk about you. That's what it's all about, right? So I never let anyone know what the questions will be, but you know the answers. There's no trick. There's nothing, no trickery involved, right? Anyway, who's hiring? Okay, let's move on because I think we're getting short on time. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Let's see. Where is? Oh, I'm not even looking at the right thing. Who's hiring? Who's hiring? Now these jobs. Now I've expanded this, right? So normally this is all LA based jobs or hotels that are looking for salespeople or whatever. But I kind of including some national stuff, right, as well, right? Some national jobs as well, and I'll let you know which ones those are. So who's hiring? And these are the first four that I'm going to give you are in the greater Los Angeles area. Hotel Burbank, they're looking for a director of sales again. Did I say that? They're looking for an associate director of sales. Now, Hotel Burbank used to be the Holiday Inn in Burbank. I mean, I want to say it's at least a 300 room property. It's like two towers. Anybody's been to Burbank, see these two towers, and they're like, okay, is that a hotel? Yeah, that's a hotel. They used to be the Holiday Inn. Now it's called Hotel Burbank. Now they're looking for an associate director of sales. Maybe it's the first time they're looking for an associate. Normally they're looking for a director of sales and marketing, but they're looking for that. So yeah, so ask questions. Just remember when you go on an interview, when you do get an interview, you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. Okay, so ask questions, ask the right questions, right? Because I've taken jobs and I didn't know what the heck I was getting into because I didn't ask the questions. And sometimes the people that you're interviewing, they won't tell you, the things that you ask. They won't give you all the pieces to the puzzle, right? But you have to ask questions, and how they answer those questions will tell you either it's a good fit or not a good fit. I mean, and they'll throw out some red flags. If they're not willing to answer some questions, they're like, well, well, why did the previous director of sales and marketing leave? Well, he did. Yeah, I really can't say that. Well, does that sound good? Okay, is that that'd be one of the places I'm like, okay, mental note. They can't even answer the question. I'll go through the interview, right? And and then you have to come to grips with, hey, there's something going on there, right? So ask as many questions as you can, because it's all, like I said, it's not just them interviewing you to see if you're the right fit. You're interviewing them to see if you're the right fit as well, right? If they're the right fit for you, because you got to work with these people. So just remember, and the reason I said this, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I see a lot of these positions, the same reoccurring positions. And I'll say this, and I'm not afraid to say this because people need to know. Hotel Burbank, they have, I would say, over the course of last year, there's been a director of sales or an associate director of sales position open at least four times last year. At least four times last year. So are these people not working out? I don't know. It could. I mean, it could be. Maybe they left. I don't know. But that's just a red flag to me. That's all I'm saying, right? So just be cautious of that. It doesn't matter if it's this hotel or any other hotel. Ask questions first, okay? Don't get in situations, take a position because you're dealing with, like, oh my God, this is the greatest hotel. And on paper, maybe it is, right? But then when you get in and start uncovering stuff, and you realize that the goals that they've given you are unrealistic. Okay, the expectations are like, wait a minute, for this hotel, no, I don't think this is going to happen. Well, you're not going to know that until you get in there, right? So that's why you have to ask as many questions. Ask about the budget. Ask about your team. Do you need more people on the team? How many people are you budgeted for? If it's a 500 room property and you only got two people selling, well, is that enough people that are selling? Probably not. Okay. How's it broken down into market segments or territories? I mean, there's a lot of things you can ask. Did you make your budget last year? Is it the budget? What percentage is the budget versus last year? The budget we're going into in 2026. What percentage is it over last year? You know what I mean? Those are quite. You don't have to ask for specific numbers. Ask for percentages. just make sure you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. Okay, so there you go. So once again, who's hiring? Hotel Burbank, they're looking for an associate director of sales. Hilton Garden Inn in Marina Del Rey, they're looking for a director of sales. Conrad, downtown Los Angeles, love that hotel. I think that's one of my favorite hotels downtown. Probably the top two. Conrad, downtown LA, right across from Disney Concert Hall in the court building on the other side. They're looking for a director of sales and marketing. The Aloft and Fairfield Inn in El Segundo, that's a dual property, right? So you'll be selling both of those properties. They're looking for an area director of sales. When I mean area, I believe they're probably talking about both of those properties. They're looking for one director of sales to manage both of those properties, and they're right next to each other, right? Literally on the same campus, if you will. And I love that hotel. It's in El Segundo, not too far from the airport. Used to be the Hacienda. Remember the Hacienda Hotel back in the day? Okay, that's that same footprint. It's now one hotel. The Fairfield took over that Hacienda space, and then they built right next to it the Aloft. Okay, so there you go. So I know the area. Okay, and then these last three, I found these on searchwide.com. So if you're looking for um, DMO, CVB jobs, they will be on searchwide.com. Visit Mobile. They're looking for Visit Mobile, Alabama. That's a destination, a DMO, Destination Marketing Organization, or Convention and Visitors Bureau. Either one is interchangeable term. They're looking for a VP of sales. So Visit Mobile, Alabama, looking for a vice president of sales. The Dallas hotel, that doesn't give the name. They're looking for a director of sales. And then Visit Salt Lake City, they're looking for a director of convention sales. And all three of those positions are on searchwide.com. So check that out and you'll see what I'm talking about. They're right there. And there you go. I mean, that's it. Any more comments? I mean, now I'm ready to answer some questions and all that. But I don't see any more questions and comments. But yeah, so that's, I guess that's it. So are we ready for this year? I think I'm ready, and we're moving forward. Like I said, it's going to be more visibility, more elevating brands. So if you're interested in having your brand elevated, reach out to me. Reach out in touch. Come on the show. I mean, we can talk about. We can discuss how Russell of Hotels can help in elevating your brand, creating more visibility, not just for yourself, but the brand you represent. But just remember this. The brand begins with you, YOU, right? Look in the mirror, and that's the person you see in the mirror. That's who the brand starts with, okay? Because a lot of times we think that, oh, I work for, the big H or the big M, the big IHG, I work for them. Well, if you're a salesperson, guess what? People don't buy that hotel. They're not buying, your meeting space. They're buying you first. So you're the person that represents that brand. Okay. So people have to buy off on you. They got to like you before they consider that. It's that whole personal connection, right? You have to be around. And the more people see you, the more they know who you are and what you do and how you can help them. There you go. Right there you go. I mean, it just goes back to what I led with when this person who happened to be a cousin of mine reached out to me, asking me or letting me know that my website needed some help, right? And she's a web designer, right? So she's like, "Oh, I can offer suggestions. All we gotta do is let's get on the Zoom call and talk," right? Well, she found me on social media. I didn't know her. I don't know her. She's a cousin of mine. Find out that when she sends me a message, she goes, "I'm related to blah 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 blah." I'm like, and I put two and two together, like, oh my God, okay, I know her grandfather, and I know this, and I didn't know her, but find out that we're cousins, right? So, but she took it upon herself to do her research on me because she started seeing things that I was posting, and she goes, okay, he has a website. So one thing led to another, and now she's going through my website and said, okay, these things need to be improved. So she reaches out to me, gets my whatever email, or sends me a message on whatever Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, and says, hey, I can help you with these things. But if I wasn't visible, she wouldn't have been able to see me. So that's just a prime example of, you never know who's watching you, who's checking you out, um, who's there to improve your what you do, right? Or who needs your assistance. You don't know that. So it's all about elevating your brand. So if I wasn't elevating my brand, if I wasn't doing all these lives that I do, things on YouTube, things on IG, things on Facebook, she never would have saw me, and I never would have known she was a cousin. That's one thing, right? And then never would have known that she actually does things that I need assistance with. Okay, so there you go. So that's kind of that behind the scenes thing. Why do we need to be visible? Is because we want people to know what we do, right? Who we are, what we do, and how we can help, right? Well, now I know who she is, right? And how she can help me, right? So there you go. I mean, that's the story. And it won't stop this year, right? Like I said, it's all about elevating. And I'll keep saying this until I'm blue in the face, which would be forever. Because you ever seen you? I don't think I can turn blue. Okay. So I'm gonna continue to do this. I'm gonna continue to fight as far as elevating your brand. Okay, because that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. So 2026 is all about what? Elevating your brand, letting people know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. So before I sign off, let me just make sure I don't see any other comments or any other people that are tuning in. But my email address, just in case you did not know, is right there, just popped up. Russell at russellofhotels.com is my email. How do you, can you, let's see, maybe you, oh, my blog. I've been mentioning the blog. Once again, just go russellofhotels.com. The blog is a drop down menu. So just hit the drop down and you'll see blog. Bing, hit the button. Bing, and everything will pop up there. And all the stuff that I talked about, and not just the topic for today, but the topics for the, well, I don't know, in the past will be there as well. So just go the last several months. All those topics will be there as well. And please follow me on IG. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do so. If you don't follow me on YouTube, please do that as well. Those are at Russell of Hotels. On LinkedIn, follow me there, Russell L. Edmond. Okay, and that's noted right at the bottom here. Bing, 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 right there. So just make sure you follow me on that stuff. And once again, this is Russell on air with Russell of Hotels. Let's see, is that all I got to say? Is that all I got to say? All I got to say? All I got to say? Okay, and there's one thing, and I'm gonna end it with this. Okay, and I think I probably mentioned this before. You ever heard of this term? Have a presence without being present. You ever heard that before? Well, that's a term that's coined by Russell of Hotels, right? Okay, just so you know. So don't be trying to steal my stuff. Okay, put on a T-shirt. Okay, I already got it. Trademark. But anyway, social media allows this to happen, right? Having a presence without being present. Okay, meaning I've met you before at a conference. Okay, if I meet you in person at a conference, then I'm in your presence, right? We are in the same room. We are breathing the same air. Okay. But once I leave that conference, you no longer see me unless we go to another conference together or we do a program together or whatever, and we're in the same city at the same hotel, right? Um, but I take that a step further, right? That's where social media comes in. That's where you start using social media to post things, to even, although you're not in the same space, you're not present, you still have a presence. Okay. So although we are not breathing the same space, like policy, let's just use policy as an example. Okay. Policy is in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay. Brazil. Okay. That's where she is now, right? I'm in Los Angeles, California. Okay. But she had a presence today without being present. She came on this live. She posted comments. We're having a conversation and she's not even in the same room. We're not breathing the same air. So when I say have a presence without being present, that's it. And that's what social media, that's the power of social media. So regardless if you're here or not, you still should be posting things. I said all that to say this. You still should be you should still be posting things, because that's how Brands get elevated. That's so people know who you are, what you do, and how you can help, right? Because I continuously do this. And you can't do it one time and think, oh my God, that's all I need to do. I'm getting all this business now. It's over time. Things take time, okay, to get there. But you have to start somewhere, right? And why not start today? There you go. So anyway, that's I wanted to leave with that. But you know, it's gonna be more of that. Don't think this is gonna be the last time that I say this, because it won't be. So anyway, that is it. Once again, I do daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So tomorrow is Wednesday. I'll be doing that tomorrow. This show On Air with Russell of Hotels comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. So that's in California. I'm in Los Angeles. So of course, yeah, it would be on. It goes for about an hour, and I think I'm about an hour right now. So we're gonna cut this thing short. I do appreciate the comments and the chats and all that, because that's what it's all about. It's all about, engagement, and I appreciate that. So thank you to Paula C. Thank you, Isaiah Griffith. I appreciate you guys for coming on, letting us know who you are, where you are, what you do, and how you can help. Paula is in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Appreciate that. Isaiah is in, where's Isaiah again? South Carolina. North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Distinctively Fayetteville. So that's Fayetteville is a DMO or CVB, interchangeable term, but he represents that city, for group business. So, he goes around the country, probably around the world, promoting Fayetteville, okay, because he wants people to take their groups to Fayetteville, okay? So there you go. That's what it's all about, right? So anyway, any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. I'm accessible, all right? And always remember, have a presence without being present. And until next time, peace.